stuff at an auction. Guaranteed for the Lord's Acre.
627.
Okay.
Oh, exactly, man. When he told me that, I was like, oh, live by the honor system.
Yeah.
Well, it's kind of like,
Came over and straightened that boy out too. Sure, we went over this. Make sure you give him the right ones.
we went to, so, they had that, athletic banquet deal, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, pork steak night. So, I left my ticket in my classroom, because I was gonna go grab some on Sunday morning, I'll go over there, you know? How would I do that? Well, I was in my classroom, and my hand was broke off. I wasn't even going to fix it and everything else, just because they probably got cat already, without me on camera and stuff, and so I just left it over there, and I said, y'all see the eyes here, just now, and I'm really not sure, and you can ask my wife, she works at Legit City, we bought 4 tickets, and.
I'll give it to you tomorrow.
I did.
Let me tell you, you talk about the Hamilton lookout. One day I go and call on Three Rivers High School, Rocky Copeland's head of the transportation, and he was like custodian. He was, and I usually went on Monday or Tuesday, he is upset. Over the weekend, kids went and squirted super glue in every lock on the campus. Nobody can get in this school.
We gotta replace all the hardware on that one.
Yeah.
You can't do nothing on that.
Lavernia, there ain't no telling, they had a custodian that all he did was doorknobs and cabinet hangers and stuff as that. And he was busy all the time.
At work, we do the same thing. Yeah, I went to go open my classroom and the door handle came off. And I tried to replace that. I don't remember my car. Nothing. It took me 30 minutes. Next Monday to get in there.
The world expecting Scott. Joseph's not coming.
I'm okay. Thank you.
6:30?
620. Oh, yeah, 630.
Okay, we're gonna call this meeting to order for Tuesday, November the 2nd, 2021. If everybody please rise and sing the pledge of allegiance, we'll just face Chris. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, audience and groups or individuals wishing to speak about an agenda item.
We don't have anybody like that.
Okay, citizens to be heard. Ethan, you got something to say?
No, well, yes and no. I saw where Mike Bird's thing was on the agenda next to me. I was just curious how that works. I guess we are gonna get to that in a little bit. And then, I guess an update on the road. I saw you got that on the agenda. I guess I had a question on the road. Is there anything to encourage them? I guess, do they have a deadline on when they're gonna be done? When they're expecting to get done?
They were expecting to be already out of town,
Yeah.
but weather, you know, every time they get something done and then getting delivery of cement's what keep them, like the forms that they had to complete Sample Street, they were supposed to deliver cement Friday and the cement company didn't show up.
Okay.
So scheduling everything and trying to get everybody lined up because they want to be out of here as fast as they can because now the job, of course, started in June and they were expecting to be here no more than 2 months. Of course, Lawrence Street took them 6 weeks.
Okay. And I'm curious, I don't want to drag on it, and I'm learning. Is there anything in the bid that encourages them to get done or like penalties?
No.
Okay.
The reason being, it was a cash deal and trying to get, first of all, they were the only one that did the job.
And I remember you saying that in that meeting I was in months ago when y'all awarded it, that it was like,
After
there were 2, and these
After
guys
we
were.
did it twice, or 3 times.
Okay. So I remember that, I was just curious. I'm done.
Number 5, discussion and action to approve minutes for the previous meeting held on October the 12th, 2021. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
Motion?
We have a motion by Councilman Vasquez,
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Lambic, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Number 6, discussion and action to approve or reject a rezoning request to change from a commercial district to a multifamily residential district located at Rutland Lane, Block 41, Lot 23G. Just to give y'all, we had a public hearing on that in the middle of October, I guess.
No, October 2nd, October something.
October something. We did not have anybody show up to complain, and it's putting a double wide behind Sylvia's, is what that is. So it's not really on the road, it's behind.
It will be facing the highway like it's supposed to.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like my neighbors, yeah.
So do we have a motion to approve the rezoning request for that?
Motion.
We have a motion by Councilman Bosque.
To rezone it?
Yeah.
Second.
We have a second by Councilman Stabenow, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Number 7, discussion and action on ordinance number 404-11-0221-03, amending ordinance number 308-012-103-01 to provide for amendment authorizing the provision for recreational parking, vehicle parking, repealing conflicting ordinance or provision of ordinance, and providing for severability and effective, whatever that word is. Okay. Go ahead and explain that. We had a public hearing on that a while ago, but go ahead for the council people and explain that, what we're doing.
This is to streamline and bring our, first of all, we didn't have anything on docket, but to bring our legislation that we have on docket up to date to take care of the situations which have been arising within our community. And with the counsel of our attorney in suggestion about being able to take care of the task at hand that we present that we needed to update, and this is the languages such as that she's recommended for us to get to where we need to be.
You all recall the one-page amendment that I brought up maybe in the September meeting? And the only one that wasn't here is Sherry. And that was, it was just a one-page, so we had to hold a public hearing for that in order to.
Now, I did have a couple questions on item number 7. If somebody has a house and it's an elderly person and their tags are out on their car, they don't use it, but it still runs or everything else, will they have to, and it's in their driveway, will they have to remove that?
That will be at the discretion of the code enforcement officer or the city marshal's office at that period of time. In the language or whatever, it does state that from his office, he would give him authority to be able to ask them to move it, or, for instance, on 8th Street, the acceptability of the clause that it's not, they put up a privacy fence to where when you drive down the street, you don't see anything but the privacy fence. That, and those different languages, interpretation of what, that's how that's going to be handled. But the answer to your question is yes.
Now, if they tag it and get the tags up to date, then the answer is no.
Right.
But if it's just an abandoned car, then the answer is yes. Do we have a motion to approve that, number 7? So we
Make a motion to approve it.
have a motion by Councilman Stabenow,
Second.
second by Councilman Sullivan, all in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Number 8, discussion and action on ordinance number 405-11-0221-04 of the City Council of the City of Stockdale, Texas, regulating the abandoned and junk vehicles within the city, repealing ordinance number 266C90694-07 in its entirety. providing a penalty, providing for cumulative and conflict cause, providing for the severability clause, and providing for an effective date. Go ahead.
This pertains to the same thing that we have on Covington, Brown, and such as that. It gives okay, we didn't have true docket to where we could take care of it through our code enforcement office or whatever. This gives the council, if somebody comes up with a conflict or whatever, you as a council can go, we want them out of the city limits, and we have the authority to be able to hire somebody and have it removed, and we can file liens against your property. Basically, that's.
So we can clean up Covington.
Yes, I got 5 more days.
Okay.
5 more days, and there, if you drive by, there should be a red tag on the door that they've been, because they didn't receive mail, this, that, and other, that they've been prompted or whatever, but the time period, I had to wait 15 days from posting the letter and putting that on the door, and I think it's right at 5 days before I hire somebody to clean that up.
Okay. Do we have a motion to approve item number 8?
I'd like to make that motion.
Motion by Councilman Slogan,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Lambic. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Number 9, discussion and action on the variance to protrude into the rear side of the property located at 210 South 4th Street. Explain that one to us.
Okay, they're asking for a variance on the slab work on the garage space of what used to be Terry Bone House. Next door neighbors to Mr. Wellman. And in this, when they took the old building down, the building sat 6 foot from the back setback. We asked for 10 feet, okay? So they pour the slab, do this, that, and the other. Well, now the slab's too sharp. They need 24 feet instead of 20 feet. They're asking to protrude back to where the existing slab for the old garage set, and put it there. And in the back, along the fence line, we have a wastewater easement that goes down the fence. So the neighbor, Mrs. Clark, or have you made the purchase yet?
Haven't purchased it yet, still Miss Clark's.
The neighbor, Mrs. Clark, she couldn't be, she's gonna be 15 foot off the other side, and then we have 6 foot. If we grant the variance, there'll still be 6 foot between the back of the garage and the fence. Yeah, you get where I'm telling you? Because it's a vacant lot on the other side, and down that lot and that fence road, Fish Street used to go straight up that street, and we have a sewer line that goes through there that has that. I told them that I would bring this before the council, and because we request, or we have on ordinance that it has to have 10-foot setback on the back property line, which that's what it is.
So what do you feel? Do you think it's a good deal, bad deal? You're gonna have to tell me, because I don't know what you need to have to do your job.
That if it really and truly doesn't make it, with that easement that goes down, if that easement, our utility easement was not on the fence line down that property, I would have a problem with it. With that utility easement that we have down there, I do not have a problem with it. Basically, he's putting the garage back where it was.
Okay, so if the motion is to allow due to the fact that the city has an easement already, then we could probably save us some problems later on in life, somebody else having a problem, and we, different neighbor, somewhere else, we could say, the reason we gave that easement, that variance is because there's already an easement there.
15 foot on the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
So really truly, we have 21 feet of variance between buildings where we'd have 20 foot on docking. Is that the easiest interpretation?
Yeah, so, can we put that in there that, because the city has already has an easement, so they're not on top of each other, since there's gonna be,
And it meets, with the footage, it meets fire standards of having a minimum distance of 10 foot.
okay. Does anybody have a problem doing that if we add that to it, that due to the fact there's an easement there, will allow him to come over that 4 foot?
With regards to it, with regards to the 15-foot utility easement running along the west boundary of Mrs. Clark's property.
Okay. So, do we have a motion to approve that easement?
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Variance.
Motion.
Motion by Councilwoman Lembeck, second by Councilman Stabenow. All in favor? Motion passes unanimously. Number 10, discussion and action to award bid proposals for construction of consistent standing bathroom and splash pad to be constructed at the Central Park with the assistance of the Texas Park and Wildlife Grant. Oh, you can explain that to us. I can't see that good.
We went out for awarding of bids or advertisement for bids. We had 5 different companies that responded, and they range from $163,468 for the splash pad to $294,275. Adventure Playground Systems out of Houston, a gentleman by the name of Chris Contreras, came in with a bid of $163,468.94. That is 2,000 square foot with the 9 to 10 above ground amenities, with one of them being the water tower with our logo on the side of it. You know, as I have showed y'all drawings and pictures of the past, and most of meetings of what we were looking for, basically. Okay, the next one was Water Play Solutions. They are also out of the area of Houston, of $170,460. Then Splash Zone, and Splash Zone was a lady that we've been working with for the last 4 years out of Arizona, that when we started the Texas parking lot and going over the years, that she kept coming back. Her company came in at $188,348.06. That was one option. She gave us another option that, you know, if you wanted to upgrade this, that, and other, was $209,692.49. Then there was a company called Water Splash. They came in at $248,733.25. And then there was a company, Oasis, which of course Oasis has lots of whistles and bells and a really nice drawing of facilities and stuff that they have. They came in at $278,825 for one option, and the other one was $294,275 for another one, for the second option. From my desk, over reviewing all the paperwork, and of course, Adventure Play was the only bidder out of that has been on site to do measurements and look at the property. And from my desk, with of course, because of state funding, with the grant portion of $150,000, it's my understanding, because we're not spending totally all our own money, that we have to go with the lowest bid. And that would be, and it's my recommendation that you accept the $163,468.94.
You said it's 2,000 square feet. Is the footage the same on all the bids?
Yes, sir, except for Oasis. Oasis is 3 light. They did a little larger and more amenities than, where's it going? Than what we asked. Yeah, they had a lot more amenities than what we had asked for. Basically,
So what would you account for the disparity in the prices? If they're all the same square footage, would you say it's amenities and quality, or what would you say?
basically, if you, I know that from Adventure Playground to Splash Zone, it goes from 163 to 209, okay? And we're right there, you know, out of those. The other is because they put more whistles and bells into the project.
And I know that one of the bidders is from Arizona, they probably got some travel
Yes.
to fly here to check it out every once in a while.
Like I said, Oasis is really not, but 140,000 is 140,000. And you can add some more whistles and bells to what we already had, you know, because they have shade awnings and stuff like that, and benches and stuff like that, and we can add those.
So you're saying we can come back and add whatever amenities we want
Yes, sir.
at a later time, at our own cost?
Or add, you know, if you want to add another 40,000, you know, add-ons or whatever, yes, we can.
But the cement will stay the same.
Yes,
But we-
square footage would.
But we could even bid out the shade structures too, right?
Correct.
Maybe possibly save us some more
Yes.
money.
Exactly. And we bid the project in 3 different pieces. We bid the project for the splash zone, we bid the project for the concession stand, we bid the project for the bathroom control room. Okay, A, B, and C. You can bid on that. All the companies, all they did was bid on the splash zone. I contacted all the local vendors that were in construction or whatever, told them that we were advertising, that we had bid packet available at the office. You can come by and pick them up. Several of them picked them up, but the only responder that we had for the bathrooms and concession stand were Girth Contractor, and basically that's Gary Mills' son, James Mills. And he was the only responder. The first scenario that came in for both the buildings was 385,500 or 190,250, 25, 192,017. So I called him back. I said, he goes, concrete, we go through this, that, and other. And we have a discussion. I go, okay, we want the buildings. We want the look of the building. We want the roof line to look like it's supposed to look or whatever, but here's what we need to do. It had some standing seam, seamless metal on the roof. Okay, we'll go to R panel. We'll just, instead of standing seam, seamless, no, we'll use R panel. We still want the square tooth and structure, whatever, where it has wainscoting on the outside, strictly the orange colored structured block that the gym's built out of. You know, like it had stucco, it had wainscoting, whatever, nothing but block. And between the bathrooms, we want to take the walls up all the way to the ceiling to where they're all separated, you know, because it had a drop ceiling. Okay, we're not going to drop ceiling. We'll put all the conduit and stuff will be exposed. We'll spray foam the roof and go from there. And when they came back after, you know, we did some other things, whatever, it was $288,500 for the 2 buildings, or 144,250.
So we came down to what price? From 385,500
to 288,500.
And you think those are good deals?
I feel that those are good deals,
Okay.
especially when I started looking around for the other.
A lot of them getting a metal building put up is, there's nobody, they're all so busy, they don't have time to even, you're lucky to find somebody, because everybody I talk to says, we ain't got time to do that.
So it's my recommendation from my desk to accept the splash pad of $163,468.94 from Adventure Playground Systems, or Mr. Chris Contreras. And then for the construction of the concession stand and the bathroom control room at a bid price of $288,500 from R. Girth Contractor.
Spell the name?
R, last name, capital, and then it's Gerth.
That's what the, all plumbing and everything included.
Yes, all we have to do is take our wastewater, water, and give them a place to hook on electricity.
Do we have a motion to award those two bids?
And hopefully,
You made it easy for us, Mayor. I'm sitting here struggling, trying to come up with all these names. I'd like to make that motion.
Okay. We have a motion by Councilman Stowe,
Second.
second by Councilwoman Lemon. All in favor? Motion passes. Unanimous.
hopefully we get this project finished by Memorial Weekend next year.
Okay. Fire chief report. That's you.
All right, so to date, we're at 183 calls already for this year. We've already passed what we had last year. And we still got a little ways to go still. Right now, we're working on several different grants. I'm working on grants for new personal protective equipment. I'm working on grants for safety equipment for us to go into structures, for us to have extra safety equipment when we do wildland fires. As well as update some of our equipment that's on our apparatuses, hand tools, so forth and so on. Also trying to get one for new cutters and spreaders for accidents. The sets that we have are from the early 90s, and the second set that we have is actually from 99. So they're pretty outdated, so I'm chasing a grant to try to get some new cutters and spreaders for our apparatuses. We're also, last month we had that rain and we had actually water rescues here around Stockdale. We actually had 5 calls for water rescues with people trapped on top of vehicles, people trapped inside RVs and homes. And we were able to get to 3 out of the 5, and there were successful rescues. So some of the people from the public actually came up to us and were asking, how come we didn't use a boat? We don't have one. We don't have one. And I know you're wondering, we used to. It actually belonged to the county, and when I took chief, that boat went back to the county. So we no longer have a boat in the station. A lot of people from...
You need to contact Army Surplus, Texas Facilities.
I'm sorry?
Contact Texas Facilities
Texas Facilities?
on Ackerman Road. Jaws of Life, I'll have to look and see, they had a set on the ground there. And you need to tell them that we're looking for an amphibious unit, and they'll find it. If they have one located somewhere in the United States, they'll bring it to the... Well, usually they're in, and tell them we'd like for it to be in that decent shape.
Okay.
Why can't we use the county one anymore?
When the county took it back, they mentioned that they had to do a lot of updates and do some maintenance to it. And so far we haven't heard anything that we can use it or we can't use it. But at the time that we needed it, we didn't have it. So that meant for us to actually get in the water and do the job.
Are you the only water rescue team?
No,
Wasn't Captain?
no, we're not.
Oh,
No, we're not. So I do have 5 guys, but I only have 1 boat operator that's licensed, and that's me.
Does it have to be a specific type of boat?
Yes. Yes. to go through the National Water Rescue Association, and as well as NFPA, it's got to be a certain vote. So I did some research and I reached out to some friends, and New Braunfels has a boat that's for sale. New Braunfels is selling it for $12,500. Now, I talked to them, and a friend of mine that used to be my boat operator when I was a rescue swimmer for the state, actually talked to his assistant chief, and we spoke. They understand we're 100% volunteer. They're willing to give us a boat for $4,500.
Oh, wow.
That's the boat, motor, and a custom trailer that actually will hold not only extra rescue gear for the people that we're going to go out for, but as well as our gear and just different tools that we possibly may need. The boat right now is at our station so that the guys can look at it, see if they actually were wanting to do it and try to chase it. And yeah, last night everybody asked, yes, let's try to see what we can do. So for my office, I know that our budget's coming in, but I'm wondering if we can get assistance with this.
2 meetings ago, when we discussed about the CARES Act, I asked him for a budget.
So the CARES Act, when we looked for it and everything that we came across, the verbiage was different. I had 5 guys looking into it to try to figure out what we could do, and everything that we were looking for was specifically for station-wise or around. As of, I guess, like wildland, we looked for stuff in wildland that we're trying to meet, and the verbiage just didn't match up. So we were a lot just looking to try to see what we could find that actually would match without chasing something that we were going to not come up correct. So we did turn in a budget. One of the grants.
You turned the budget into my office?
No, sir.
Oh.
No, that's why we did not.
Okay.
So, and one of the grants that we're chasing is some of water rescue gear, because again, our gear is.
Well, you have a budget,
That's
because
correct.
we work on a budget. What you
Yes,
don't have, what
I-
you're telling him is under the American Rescue Plan, there's nothing that you could go for, right? If that's what you're saying, it wouldn't, nothing like that with the boat?
Was
you
it-
can't.
The
If
American,
you got $10,000 sitting in an account, whatever, for a project like this,
Well, I just transferred the 10,000, that's what the city gives you all.
right.
So that's why I was about to look at the account. There's where is it? Yeah, there's 16. And I know they also put savings into the fire truck account. That in the past, it hasn't been used in a long time, but in the past, they would save it in case they were gonna purchase something for the fire department. That's a savings though. But I know I just deposited I transferred the $10,000.
I'm still waiting on the county to receive.
Yeah, I know, they haven't
They haven't
given
come.
you the check, I know that, yeah. And up to now, anything you spend, I've been reimbursing it to the city, so, you know, the minute we pay something, I reimburse it to the city. So, and the 16 may not reflect
The last,
the 10,000 that I put, I don't remember, I gotta check, I can't think right now, I didn't do it before the end of the month. But, yeah, just letting you know.
So you don't think in the CARES Act that there's anything for a boat in there?
we can relook and see what we can find. I mean, is that grant or that opportunity still available for us to look into, or is it already expired?
no.
No,
It has not.
Okay, the way it works is they gave us half the money, then we send receipts in like, the last time, once we spend it, we send receipts in that we spent these monies for these funds, and then they'll go through, okay, this checks off, this checks off, this check, then they send us the other balance as we, you understand what I'm saying? In other words, we were to receive $408,000. We got $204,000
yeah.
up front. And so as we come through, for instance, sewer, water, utilities, there's some projects that we do that we'll send that in, they'll send funds back. We need to look through the fine lines about how to be able to finesse it underneath the CARES Act money.
Okay.
Because it states about how, you know, you reflect and intend to the pandemic and different emergency services.
The paperwork or the documentation, do you have it in PDF that you can email it to us
It's
or to
Yeah.
me? That way I can
Yeah.
take a look at it and see what
But
I
it's
can
no
figure out.
longer CARES Act. CARES Act, we closed
Gone.
it.
Right.
That's done. It's the American Rescue
The
Plan.
American Rescue Plan, the CARES Act, that was the one that we had a very difficult time trying to figure out
Yes.
what we could do.
You will,
Yeah.
because it has to pertain to health and welfare and safety.
Right, and that's what we had a hard time trying to put.
Okay, so you'll send him that, and you'll look at that and see if we can do something with that.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, that'd be a good idea.
That'd be fantastic. That would help us
And
out.
how long will they wait for you on that $4,500 deal?
They're asking for us to try to do something pretty quick, because I know the guys are giving us a little bit of time, but again, you know, they're giving us a deal, they're cutting a big chunk off of it for us. So, but we can get that information, that'd be great, that way I can take a look at it.
You know, it's a PDF and you can go through. I mean, I didn't see the list being very expensive, so.
And I hate to do something before you, because if you purchase it before, you can't do nothing.
You poked.
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
so
I understand.
we gotta do it.
We'll run through that, we'll try to look through
Yeah,
the T's and I's.
okay,
Okay.
go ahead.
The last thing, we did receive one grant we were awarded for training at $12,500 to send guys to any certified class through Texas A&M. So
Okay.
that's all I have.
Thank you. Number 12, city manager comments.
As you come down to your financials, this month, the general account was in a negative $22,340.25. That reflects checks that we have written for streets and drainage. The water account is at a minus 19,134.62. That reflects, we finally got well number 4 or number 5 up and running, disinfected, and it's back online and operating. Wastewater is at a positive $786.50, and our natural gas account is at a minus $15,002.14, which gave us a negative figure of $55,690.26 for the city. And we're in that period of time to where ad valorem taxes slowly come in between now and January. As utilities fall off, ad valorem taxes pick up. So it'll take us to, we should be in a negative figure from now till January, whenever ad valorem tax money comes in or whatever, it'll start coming back. And the biggest issue that we have, of course, in the general account is because we have written checks to pay for, we paid 5 times and we've only deducted or moved funds from the street savings account over to the ledger to offset it. There's like $160-something thousand that we've paid streets and drainage that need to be transferred whenever those all get certified and tended to. So that'll update about the financial situation. Of course, you have deposits of $4,328,961. The disbursements account is at $651,506. So financially, you know, that's to keep you prompted about how your funds are being taken care of. Update on the street project, as I've brought to you, they're diligently getting out all the side streets tended to, getting the curbing in, getting them down before they hit Second Street. So they're going, like I said, they were supposed to have finished up Friday on Sample Street, get all that done. Then they're going to Free Timber to finish it, then they're doing this, and then that's all on Second Street. Get ready.
How far down Second Street?
It goes all the way to the gymnasium to the concrete dip. Okay? And to refresh you, they're trying to get out of town as fast as they possibly can because the days are running to them.
What are they gonna do here with this waterfall? A giant,
Right here,
yeah,
they fill it back in and the curbing comes in, then they fill it back in. That curb has to sit on so many inches of compacted limestone base material to keep it from doing this. It sits on top of it. But that, they took it out that width because the Bobcat scoops it up. And I even asked that, how come so wide? anyway. You were updated on the splash pad, we made those dinner, and then to update you on the Sarah Van Chandler Library, we are working on a $50,000 grant through T-Mobile, isn't it? I think it was T-Mobile or one of those about,
So,
to where we can do repairs on that building and move back into it. Any other questions from your desk to mine?
Yeah. Any questions for the city manager? If not, we'll go to number 13. Is there a motion to pay pending bills? We have a motion by Councilman Stabenow, second by Councilwoman Lembeck. All in favor? Number 14, action to adjourn. We have a motion by Councilman Vasquez, second by Councilwoman Lembeck. All in favor? We are adjourned. Thank y'all for coming.
Let's hope that they don't have a grand slam home run in the second, what was it, 30?
First inning.
First,
Tonight?
Yeah, okay, they don't.
Oh, you're not saying they did. They play tonight?
no.
Or tomorrow?
Right now.
They're playing tonight? I can't believe we had a meeting. You're knowing that they're playing. I don't care. I'm gonna go. I get in there, go as fast as I go. I can no back to all over. There is no BS when I'm in that.
have a good night.
See you later.
Be good,